Let's check this out. Are MMOs making you toxic? We are an MMO stream here. We only do MMOs on here. Let's see. Are MMOs making you toxic? This one looks funny.
Mate, where did you get that from? The poor people shop. Don't invite me to your group. I want to join your group if anything. What's your score? What's your score?
What is wrong with you? Have you seen your adventure plate? Do you think that's good, do you? You look like an Echo player. An Echo player. Do you want to look like a Roger Brown? Do you?
You absolutely suck, mate. You suck. Get out of my dungeon. And
Oh, the new terms of service.
Guys, wait. Little Sprouts watching the cutscene. I remember my first time. Oh, we'll wait. It's fine. It's Hey! Oh, that adventure plate is
People watch the cutscenes and
amazing.
everyone gets mad.
No, it doesn't make you look poor at all. I tell you what, I wish I could make mine look like that. You know what? I just look around and I think, this is what happiness truly is.
Yeah. Nice. These videos are pretty good.
All right, so the social contract is coming to WoW. This is not a WoW bash thing because
You guys
actually,
saw this
social
pop up.
contract exists in many.
You guys saw this pop up for me because I opened the game for the first time this morning after the patch, and I got the social contract. I didn't read that shit. I just signed. I'm like, yeah, let me play, man. Let me play. But some people made a big deal out of it. Some people got really pissed. So let's see why. What pissed
games
people
already,
off.
but re-emphasizing this is something that is
Yeah, I
done
have to
for
be
all the
careful
wrong
when cussing
reasons,
now,
is
right?
My take on this damn thing. What I've noticed, and you guys are well aware.
Oh
is
my
ever
God,
since we
watch the
stopped
cutscenes
actively
on
covering
YouTube.
WoW
Ain't nobody got
coverage, I
time
have been dipping my toe
for that
into
Ishin
as many
game.
MMOs as I can get my hands on. Like in big
I
ones.
like to watch them in
I'm not
game.
doing every single MMO that's ever been made. I'm not playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure or anything.
I noticed my Realm Trade chat was.
But we're looking at
Still the best fucking South Park episode ever. Make Love Not Warcraft.
a lot of the big ones, Destiny 2, we've been playing some EVE Online, we've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy, etc., etc. And one thing has become very clear, and I've tried to make this point in a number of videos, is that it's gameplay design that encourages positive behavior, not a list of stuff that tells you can't be a racist, bigoted asshole. That's kind of a given societally, at least for
Yeah.
most people, and it's usually something that's done in a sort of ambiguous way. They're never very specific. It's like, it's if you are hate speech, whose definition of that is what, right? Who decides what isn't? Now, for most of us, it's very obvious. If you call someone an overtly racist name or some really homophobic or gendered term, then yeah, you're being a douchebag, and that's clearly obvious. But that line
probably.
also gets pretty vague. Now, this is similar, and I know it's not on the same topic, to FF14's recent sort of discussion about add-ons. Is their purpose is very clear. Like, it's, although it's written
Yeah, Final
with some
Fantasy,
vagary,
no add-ons allowed.
their intention is very clear. They don't want FF14 to turn into an add-on fiesta like World of Warcraft. They don't want that. So they're very clearly trying to
Oh
say,
my God, look
look
at
if
this
you're-
fucking guy's screen. Holy shit. There's a reason why I don't play like this, guys, too. I feel like it ruins my immersion in the game. Does anybody else feel that way? Like, honestly, I'm not like a fucking, like, elitist player. Right? Like, I like to play the game and get immersed in the game. And when I have 400 things on my screen like this, not only does it not make for a good stream, because this is shitty to watch, what the fuck is going on here, but it kind of ruins your immersion. You're just, it feels like you're playing like a, I don't know, like a weird app game or something. That it's just odd to me. And I prefer to, like, you know, enjoy the game more than have add-ons covering my
creating some
screen.
sort of add-on or plugin that makes the game easier, in their opinion, or simplifies it. That's the kind of thing we don't want. But they paint it with a broad brush, which is like, we're just against all add-ons. Right? It's that nature. We talked about that in the last video, is they paint it with that brush so that they can easily toe the line between what they want to get rid of and what they don't. They actually probably don't mind people doing X and Y, and they are just as most video games understand, there's going to be some drama and conflict that occurs in video games where you're playing with multiple people all the time from around the world who are brought up in different cultures and have different ways of thinking, and some people
True.
are just complete arseholes regardless. Like, that happens all the time as well. So what they don't want to say is, like, you can't say X, Y, and Z, and that has tried in the past. You might remember Twitch did something like this a while ago, where they came up with, like, literally a list of words that you weren't allowed to say. There was a big
Right.
controversy is that you couldn't use the word blind. where one of the most common things in all of video games is blind playthroughs. You put that in your title, and that tells everybody, because it's part of the nomenclature of the culture, is that this is somebody who's playing a game for the very first time. Was that a thing that they changed? And now it has to be first playthrough and things like that, and people try and push it, along with a lot of other very derogatory terms. And when you try and do this very specific line, it makes it awkward, because one thing I know from people, not just gamers, is everyone's always trying to figure out the line. They're trying to figure out, where can I go? Where is it? Where can I push to? And when very strict lines are drawn, that's where it goes. So the TOS thing and there was some outrage about this, but it seemed unnecessary to me. It's really Blizzard reiterating, it's like, look, we're probably going to take a stronger stance on this, especially after the lawsuits that are going on and all the controversies. Like, we're going to be more actively taking part in this far too regularly, and this has happened recently with the influencer program, the experts, the WoW expert council, the WoW council thing is, people releasing screenshots that have some racist terms in them, even though X and Y wasn't really involved, but it occurred in their environment, and Blizzard taking action and doing all this kind of stuff, and people going, well, that's not fair, this is all bullshit, and all this kind of stuff. And it's
one reason, and I know I trust you guys more, but one reason why I don't get in Discord is because you lose control of the stream, and you don't know what people are going to say. And the first time, I would say about almost a year ago now, when I first started streaming, I got in Discord with a raid, and one guy kept dropping the N-word, nonstop. And I kept asking him to stop, and he wouldn't stop. And I eventually had to, I ended the stream because I was, frustrated with it. I was like, this guy's fucking, he won't, I guess it's just part of his vocabulary, and he wasn't even noticing he was saying it. And he clearly wasn't African-American. I mean, that was obvious to everybody. And he just kept dropping it. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to get in Discord anymore. I don't want to fucking do that. And now it's become more of just, I'm in the stream, and if you guys want to hear me talk, I'm in the stream. You can check me out, and everyone else can get in Discord. That's fine. I'm trying a PC day. I know what I'm saying. Yeah, Blizz screwed it up for all of us by being cringy and stuff in hotel rooms.
It's really a case that if Blizzard really wants to encourage a positive gaming behavior...
I deleted my Twitch a while because the auto-playing music was dropping the N-word on the homepage. What? Really?
Yeah, there's a couple of approaches that are just considerably better that happen at the design phase of the game, and not really with social contracts, because I'm also seeing a lot of people
that seems like a misstep,
arguing that, well, this will make things much better now. Now Blizzard has struck down and said,
they were doing a tribute to black music.
We're not going to allow racism and stuff. Duh.
Yeah. Well,
duh. I mean,
for a month,
I've
probably during Black History Month.
Before, but ironically, there was a video I did during the Shadowlands Alpha where I did report somebody who was being a complete toolbox. And a lot of people in my comments section said I was being a snitch, a grass, a pussy, all those kind of things. I'm like, this could be a kid, right? This is going to be a kid who's having to listen to this shit. That's not funny. That's not a joke. And you can call me an old man boomer, whatever, but I look at it from that perspective. Boomer. It's like, this could be one of my kids who's having to listen to this bellend talking all this shit and saying all this awful stuff, which he's not allowed to hear at home. And yeah, I don't think it's right. Whatever. I don't think it's right, and I'm not going to fucking stand for it. I don't care if you call me a pussy or whatever. And thankfully, Blizzard reached out to me afterwards and thanks for that. That was good. Make that example. And I was like, I wasn't trying to make an example. I would do that regardless if I was recording this or not. What I do want to talk about, though, is the ways that we can certainly create a better environment, because ultimately there's a lot of people who consider WoW to be very toxic right now, which sucks, because Dragonflight is hopefully going to be
I'll be honest, guys. One reason why I feel like the stream does decently is because we try to not be toxic. I think anybody can put a pug raid together and bitch people out and kick people after every single pull and call everyone out for being dumb pieces of shit. But what fun is that? You get the boss down, but after what? You've wrecked 15 people's days? For what? What the fuck? Just enjoy the game, man. For me, I'd rather stick together with the same group and eventually figure it out together. People will get it. But for others who just want to get it down ASAP, they'll just keep rotating through people like they're nothing. So that's why I feel like partially why some people enjoy this stream is because we're like a non-toxic pug raid, and we get shit done. We still down bosses. So fuck the toxic raiders.
And we don't want to leave that toxic atmosphere stewing, but it needs to change in different ways. FF14 is considered all sunshine and roses and happiness. Unquestionably,
yeah, Silver Dragon, you got gifted a sub this morning. Mag gifted 10 subs.
Radically different. I'm not undermining
generosity of Mag.
How massively different the environment is. It is not perfect. There are certain social faux pas that exist in FF14 that people take extremely seriously.
Oh, I'm sure.
And a simple one would be
Fine.
if you have a new player in your dungeon and they're
And
watching a
always
cutscene for
use
the first time,
another Death Knight.
Big Bluebies, thank you for the follow and the sub today. Thank you for the sub. You are now a Death Knight of our Scourge. Thank you so much, Big Bluebies. Welcome, welcome. Death Knight.
very, very respectful to
Thank
let
you
them
so much
watch
for the
it
Prime
till
sub,
the
man.
end.
Really appreciate
And
it.
if you
New to the
what
stream
you can
today.
do is if you've already seen that cutscene
We
before, so
have
you
a realm to destroy.
And thank you for the follow. Welcome to our Scourge. Yeah, the sub before the follow. Let's go. Yeah.
played the story and you're
Thank you
replaying
so
this
much,
dungeon
man.
for leveling purposes or whatever, is you can go and pull the boss straight away while the cutscene's playing. Some of these cutscenes are 2 or 3 minutes long.
No way.
And
You can
that
pull the boss
person
during
is
the
just
cutscene.
not going to take part in the boss fight. The boss fights aren't difficult, so it can be 3-manned or whatever. And that
That's
person
kinda fucked.
comes back after maybe watching a very important part of the story. People take the story very seriously in FF14, and the boss is nearly dead. Or it's like, I'm locked out of the room, or whatever it might be. And it's considered a
There.
really big social faux pas. Now,
Ah.
as well as not commending people at the ends of dungeons. And this is what leads me to the gameplay scenario. There are
That's very different in
gameplay
WoW.
encouragements that work. Some games don't bother at all, which is another approach that people can take. So I would consider Destiny 2 to be more in line with that, which is that you can go into a strike or whatever outside of very, very organized raid content, and if there's people there, great. If there's not, there isn't. They're faceless, nameless for the most part. Very rarely you're going to bump into them again. It's essentially this mission can be soloed, and if other people are also doing it at the same time, then they're there too.
I haven't played Destiny since it
And
came
that's
out,
about it.
really. I played Destiny
now
for a
that
little
works,
bit.
but it's kind of the hands-off approach and doesn't really foster a great community feel. Which
Yeah, there's
is
no
where I
community
think
feel
FF
there.
did get things right, and I hope WoW looks at it this way. I think the best example is honestly Mythic Plus. Mythic Plus is a very, very hard experience for the average
It
player
is,
to get a
yeah.
positive experience with.
Yeah.
Years ago, I would have said something
very
similar to what you'd read
toxic.
on many forums when people struggle with Mythic Plus, is make your own.
Oh, come on. People need their hand patted after finishing a dungeon. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's necessary. I mean, it is nice to get a GG, you know. I get that a lot of times at the end of a Mythic Plus run. Everyone goes GG and then they leave. That's fine.
Make your own group. And the more I think about it now I'm detached from that world and looking back on it, it's like, wow, that's actually really shitty advice. That's like terrible advice. Yeah, you can get a group together. But the problem is, you're putting your key up on the chopping block. And this is what then fosters the negative environment
Sam.
of
Yeah, there you go.
individually scrutinizing every single player that you're going to be dealing with. It encourages that play. And then Blizzard doubles down on
Well,
it. because now we have
Mythic Plus is more toxic than raiding because you're only 5 people, so the pressure is on, right? If a healer fucks up in a raid, but you're one of 4 healers, yeah, maybe you're not going to get called out. But if you fuck up in Mythic Plus, you're done. Same with the tanks. I mean, the pressure, let me tell you, tanking a Mythic Plus is a completely different game from everything else. People get mad when you're not going fast enough. People get mad when you're going too fast. People get mad when you're pulling the wrong group at the wrong time. People get mad when you're not taking the path that they like or they're used to taking. People get mad if you die. They'll just blame you flat out. They'll be like, oh, you fucking suck. You're dying. Tanking a Mythic Plus, you got to have a thick skin. That's for sure. And then you got to deal with the fact that you can get all the way through a Mythic Plus to the final boss and then somebody leaves. And guess what? You're fucked. Good luck. If you can't
the
format
rate
it,
that
you're
IO
fucked.
score in game
Mythic Plus is the fucking basement of toxicity in WoW.
as well. And the reason it does that is you're putting
RBGs
your
are
key
more
up for-
toxic than Mythic Plus? No way. And raid combined. I've not done RBGs, so if they are,
for chopping.
Jesus, God
and
help
if
the
this
people
key
who do 'em.
fails, it's your key that suffers. And your loot that suffers, and all these.
I
Kind
prefer
of things.
rating
so
as well.
Of course, you're being
Rating is my favorite
encouraged
part
to
of the game.
really heavily scrutinize and take the best of the best of the best possible, as best as you can tell, which then heavily undermines all the other players who just want to get their dungeon done and are probably really average to good players, if not amazing players. There's always some bad ones in there, but they're heavily pushed out of the scene
Rated
because
battlegrounds
of
are way
the
more toxic,
environment
jeez.
around how the game works. It's designed to not reward failure too well. It used to do that. He used to do that in several ways. I remember even back in vanilla, when average BG started rewarding high Warlord gear, or there were enough points to buy them, and people were really upset. Now, that was part of an exclusivity situation, but
Sure.
you can now see, if you think about it, is Mythic Plus, if it goes wrong, it's not going to increase your score. Let's say you're farming score. It doesn't increase your score anymore. It's all going wrong. People are leaving. And we've all seen those
Yeah,
threads,
people-
if
oh
you
my
paid
God.
any attention,
It's the
of people
worst.
basically calling for the abject murder, hanging, and disembowelment of anybody who leaves a Mythic Plus dungeon and leaves your...
What pisses me off too is if you're in a Mythic Plus dungeon and the person who's the problem leaves, even if nobody's called them out, but then they act like they're a badass and they're like, I'm fucking out of here, you guys suck, and they're like they're doing like third in DPS or they're second in healing and I'm out healing them. It's ridiculous when people leave and they're the problem, and they wait to leave too. Like, they let you clear everything. You got all this shit done. You're almost to the final boss, and then they leave. Guess what? That's like freaking half hour, 45 minutes of your day you're never getting back. It helps to establish certain things before a key starts, like lust times, etc. Yeah, true.
key high and dry.
Communication
and that's
always
because
helps.
it's a very negative effect of putting yourself out there.
53
and trying
runs to
in a
get
group.
mid-er.
Much
Oh my
safer to
God.
just keep rolling and rolling for hours and hours until somebody else lets you in. And you
I love Mythic Plus, but then I don't go into them with no knowledge of the dungeon and use voice/disc as much as possible. Yeah, communication always makes something better. That's why our raids go well here too, is because, you know, we're
get a
communicating. We
lesser
have Twitch and
negative
everything else.
impact. But if the group falls apart, you still get a very negative impact. It's a gameplay situation that's creating this environment, which leads to gear score, which leads to having rated.io score and all those things.
Communication
because
is
the
key
gameplay
in keys, yes,
intuitively
sir.
gives that. Vice versa. On the other side, like some of the things we've talked about before is their endgame zone Bosnia, which fully encourages audience participation and cheering on people to do well. You get rewarded for that, for taking part in that situation.
let us lay
In dungeons,
waste
if you have a
to
new
this
player, like we talked
realm.
about before,
Peyton plays games. Thank you for the follow and welcome to our Scourge.
they will reward you with more stuff. A big message appears as soon as you enter that dungeon saying, hey, there's a guy here who hasn't done this dungeon before. We're going to give you more rewards. Be respectful of their time. And let them watch the cutscenes. This is the kind of thing that's beneficial. You get the
Yeah.
commendation system
True.
at the end, which is polite, and most people do this, is give a commendation at the end. Who did well there? That then encourages them
I don't know
to
if
build
that's
up
necessary,
their
but that's
personal
fine.
commendations so maybe they can help others. It encourages people to be helpful. When people are stuck, people are clearly not understanding what's happening in the dungeon.
Maybe they could implement like a post Overwatch match shit. You know how they do that in Overwatch, where like the cards come up and you can vote on people who did well. Like give them extra, I don't know, extra bonus of rep or something. That could happen like a post dungeon vote, right? You've all 5 people show up. You can plus and vote people up. Maybe that would
They're
work.
things.
Little pat on the
It helps
back.
you to go, hey man, this mechanic that you failed on, like say you got Doom. So what you need to do is you need to run on the glowing platform, and that'll get rid
Which
of the
brings
Doom
us back
debuff,
to
so you
Covenant
won't
Renown
die. It's
/
like,
spec and
okay.
keys. If you're
And
not
then that
meta,
person might commend them for that.
you don't
Now,
get high
obviously,
keys.
There's
It's true.
the Mentor situation in FF4.
The player power should have never been attached to covenants to begin with. That's
Because
the
not
problem.
every solution is perfect where people are being overly helpful. That's a problem as well, but I think I would rather have people be overly helpful than actively hating against each other and creating environments that lead to conflict. And I think that's what it ultimately boils down to is if they really want to solve the toxicity stuff over in WoW, which is prevalent, there's no getting away from it. I don't run into it a lot. I don't know
Yeah.
it's as widespread as people feel it is. Of the years
think
that I
it's
did
that
the
crazy
TDP, where we
either.
were running Mythic Plus day in, day out, very, very rarely did I have a negative experience. Wait, why? It's on the other side of the room, bro! Why? What are you achieving?
He's malding.
Ah! God! Emma, play this. That's fucking killing me.
What am I pressing?
Oh, it doesn't fucking matter. It
What am I
doesn't matter.
pressing?
But I can't play properly without a damage meter.
But at the same time,
He snapped.
99%
He put his
of my
wife
dungeons
on the
was
game.
successful, and everything was fine because I know I'm carrying my weight for the most part, and
I started
usually
playing
other people are as
Necro
well,
and Asphyx
so it
Keys, Frontal
generally works out
Avalanche.
pretty well. But there are obviously
The
groups
fact
out
that
there
I'm
with
not
a lot
Night
of
Fae
average
has
to
kept me out of
lower
7,
average
18,
players
19
joining
keys,
groups
yeah.
that are struggling, and then they're
That's
being
bullshit.
excluded from further content.
But I know that
and there's
happens.
really no incentive, like I just talked about, to try and encourage them in some way to get better or to learn and get better without being an offensive intruder into your personal space of going through the talent list like this is shit, this is dog shit, you know, this is bad, what you're doing is bad, your rotation is terrible.
What's up,
just read a
NX?
guide, lol. all this kind of stuff. The gameplay of the systems in the game don't encourage that positive gameplay. And that's what I would really like to see. If Blizzard is taking a proper stand against the toxicity in the game, and I'm fully encouraging them doing that, what I would really like to see is be respectful of people's time.
Good.
The biggest one. It's one of the biggest reasons that I don't miss WoW right now, and I'm hoping changes in
Just
Dragonflight.
finished my
Talks
work,
about this
back
a lot
to home.
on
Nice.
With Asmon and Rich.
That's always a good feeling.
I want to be respectful of my time. If I think about the amount of
I want to be
times
respectful
that
of my
I've
time too.
run Mythic
The one thing I hate about Mythic Plus, like I said, is that 30 to 40 minutes that you're never going to get back in your life because somebody decided to leave. And you were progressing, like you were going to make it through the plus. Maybe you're not going to time the key, but then somebody leaves because you're not timing the key and because it's not going to help their rating. That shit pisses me off.
Plus, and I will use that as the prime example rather than
Yeah,
rating
servers
it.
had to go down. There's another maintenance today. The patch came yesterday and fucking wrecked the servers. Servers were down for like 8 hours yesterday, and then they're doing a 1 hour today. So we'll see.
I'm looking
when
for
this
an
shit comes.
item, and
Patch day
you're
fallout,
doing
yeah.
30, 40
Servers are
runs,
still not
and I know
up.
when I was talking to OK Mage at the recent Race to World First, it's like she ran the same dungeon 200 times over the course of a season and still didn't get the item she wanted. Like, utterly ridiculous. Having to do 10
getting
vaults
a free day of game time? I
to end
wonder.
up with a pittance
No,
of currency at the end
definitely
because
not.
none of the items it gave you. Like, be respectful of players' time because it creates. If you don't, it naturally creates frustration.
Depleted because someone
It
just
naturally
bounces
creates
mid-dungeon.
frustration.
Yeah,
I've wasted
that's
all
bullshit.
my time. I did 9 hours of dungeons and raids.
Yeah, they
and
stopped doing that. I don't
Mythic
think they do
Plus
that.
or whatever it might be in PvP, and I got nothing for it. I got absolutely nothing for it. It's just not respectful of my time. And there's games out there like PoE's just the season's new season just launched. It's like 400 hours of gameplay for free.
Oh, I
It
didn't
is.
even open my
Like,
vault.
I opened
Holy shit, you just reminded me. I didn't even open my vault yesterday. I got to open that today. Because servers never came back up. I completely forgot.
People go, oh, but you might buy stash tabs and things. It's like, yeah, but you really don't need to. I played for 150
Servers come back up
hours
soon, I'll
without
do
ever
that.
doing so. And the only reason I did is because people were like, you really should. But I was fine. Like, I could continue to play that game for free all the time. And it's those choices are out there. I really hope they do something about the toxicity over there, because right now that's the impression a lot of people have, like League of Legends had and still carries, is that game is really toxic. And it's not just a
League of
solution to just
Legends.
outright ban people, it's to foster a gameplay environment that doesn't encourage it.
Yeah,
So I'd love to
that
see your
shit-
thoughts on this, guys.
that
I really
shit's
would,
toxic
because,
for the bloodstream.
honestly, reading through it, it's like, this is good, but it's not going to change the fact that your environment fosters negativity. And if you want a good gameplay experience, because if the MMOs are built on the back, let's face it, of people having a good time in a community. And if
True.
you can encourage that and push it forward,
True.
that's the win. That's the win-win for everybody. So let me know what you guys think. And I'll talk
Yeah.
to you soon. Bye, guys.
Or, if you want to avoid toxicity in a community, you come to a wonderful stream like this one, right? That's what you do. A non-toxic stream. Well, this shit's still down, man. The fuck? I didn't think it was going to be a full hour, but we're 20 minutes away from an hour right now.